Ladies and gents, welcome back. Holy cow, I'm slow to get things go today. Am I late? I'm late. I believe I'm late. 2 minutes late. All right. Welcome back to the Friday night live stream. If you're watching this after the fact, this is the Friday night live stream where it becomes just live, long form content on the channel afterwards. But if you're watching this after the fact, enjoy the show. But the live experience is the more fun thing. So I make videos every Monday through Friday in the mornings. This week, kind of slacking. I feel bad, but I have a good reason for that, and I'll get to that. But every morning I'll put together videos about the things that matter to me in Canada and things I think that are important. I try to get as much information out there as possible. And then on Fridays, I give back to the community because you guys are so great. Watch all the videos, and we have a longer conversation about all the things that are happening in our country, or I try to get to as much as possible. But I usually go for about 2 hours, and sometimes it goes a little longer. But hey, welcome everybody to the live stream. This is unbelievable. So this week, the reason why it's been a little bit difficult is because my family's gone. My wife and children have left me to go to Japan and enjoy themselves for a few weeks, and they'll be back this week coming up. But yeah, it's been about 2 weeks without my wife and beautiful children. And yeah, it's been horrendous living the bachelor life again for a fixed amount of time. But here we are, and we're getting through it. We're getting through it together. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm seeing the chat in there. Oh, what we got in the chat today? Getting a pitchy sound out of my speakers. What do we got going on here? Anyway. What an exhausting week it has actually been for me, and just trying to keep up with content. It has been a difficult one because now I'm a bachelor for a temporary period of time, but it's not easy. It's not easy. I don't remember being a bachelor. I've been married so long. I've been married 16 years now, and to a 2-week divorce. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I mean, it's almost as miserable as no, they left happy and they're coming back happy. So I guess it's not the same. It's not the same. I've been a bachelor for a long time. It's not a bad thing. Well, maybe it's not a bad thing, but it's just not what I'm used to. Not my usual routine. So I had a lot of different responsibilities. How many pizzas did you order? Actually, the wife made a bunch of pizzas for me and froze them, and so I made those. Does that count? But the boys came over last Saturday and they ordered a pizza. That was the thing that happened. Hi, Clyde from Victoria, BC. Hey, V team. Paranormal. Welcome in. Hello from Langenberg, Saskatchewan. Well, thanks for joining. Really appreciate that. Unacceptable Fringe. Clyde has been eating craft dinner and cheese sandwiches. No gourmet cooking. Crying emojis in the chat, folks. I haven't had any craft dinner. I forgot to buy craft dinner. Actually, I could have gone for some craft dinner. That's a Canadian delight. Absolutely. And the rest of the world knows it as mac and cheese, but we have the name craft dinner for some odd reason. I have no idea why that's a fact. But hey, it is a fact. But yeah, we've been getting things going. Been meeting with people outside of the stream as well, and trying to arrange some things, some new faces. As well as tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be on Allison Moreau's channel, so be sure to check that out. I'll make sure I'll put a link in the communities tab so everybody knows when to do that. I think we'll be going live at 2:30 Pacific time, so check your local time zone for what that is. So 3 hours, 3 hours ahead if you're in Eastern. But yeah, 2:30. Be on Alison Moreau's channel. We're going to be talking about Bill 36 in British Columbia, which is holy cow. And so I've been trying to gather information about this bill for some time because I didn't know how to digest it. There's not a lot of information out there. The media is being extremely quiet about this Bill 36 in British Columbia. And well, it's not good. Let's just start there. This bill is going to reimagine what socialized healthcare is for our province. And it's, if you thought it was bad now, is basically what I'm getting at. And amazingly, because I've been talking to some people in the industry, is there are a lot of doctors that don't even know about it. I mean, doctors are too busy. They're way overstretched for what it is that they're doing. And holy cow, half a year and it feels like 10 minutes. Clyde did something. He emptied my bank account on memberships. Well, I appreciate that. Member for 6 months. That's great. Half a year. Amazing. Well, thanks for being here with me. And you know, all the members, they get the special emojis in the chat, which is always fun for the live streams. It's a ton of fun. And if you remember, there's a special role in the Discord. It gets you on the top of the online list. That's basically where it is right now. We'll figure out something to do with that. I've got a huge list of things to do, but I've mainly put finding news stories to be the biggest priority for that. But yeah, this bill, Redneck with a $50 super chat. Wow, thank you so much. Delivery fund, eat something healthy for once, or drop bacon in that KD. Who am I to judge? Bacon in the KD, that's really good. You know, somebody turned me on to this, and tell me in the chat if you tried this. But everybody knows Kraft dinner with ketchup, and that's just a thing. That's just a Canadian thing, as Canadian as it comes. They even mentioned it in "If I Had $1 Million" song by the Bare Naked Ladies. But try this, Frank's Red Hot sauce in your Kraft dinner. If you like spicy, you'll like it. You will like it. A friend of mine turned me on to that. I can't go back. It's really good. Hate ketchup. Boo ketchup. Bacon. Red Barnes is the best. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had Red Barnes bacon. I started making bacon at home. That's a thing that I've been doing, and I highly recommend it. Sriracha. Sriracha is good. Sriracha is like, it's spicy ketchup. It's different than hot sauce. Ketchup is fine. Mustard is better in Kraft dinner. What? I'm a mustard on hot dogs kind of dude. I don't do ketchup on a hot dog, like on a regular dog. If it's a ballpark, so if it's a ballpark hot dog, it's got to be mustard only. If it's like a sausage, and we all know the difference. We don't have to get into the semantics of this. We know the difference between a hot dog and a sausage. If it's a sausage, then all kinds of stuff. Shredded onions, all that stuff. But ballpark, just mustard. French's or whatever, American yellow. This does not look like it came from nature mustard. That's how it's got to be done. Mustard, no. KD, gross. That's it. But yeah, so speaking of this story, so I've been gathering more information on it, and I actually want to cover this story a bunch, and I'm working on getting some doctors to come on to the show to talk about this from British Columbia, because Bill 36 is not even in contention. It's not something that they're proposing. They rammed it through. It's in. It's passed. It went to royal assent. It is now the law in British Columbia, and it does a number of really horrible things. One thing that right on the surface people are outraged about. Now, we all heard about vaccine mandates for jobs, and that would be through your employer, and getting fired for not having sufficient amount of medical interventions would be troublesome and problematic for a lot of people because it goes against informed consent. It goes against a lot of these things. It's coercive. It's coercion to force people to have a medical intervention before getting as a term of employment. Now, it's no longer going to be the case. That is no longer going to be the case. It is now going to be a term of licensing. So doctors, as you may not know, or if you may know, have to re-up their license. They have to keep constant on that. You can't just let it slide. It's not like a mechanic. I don't know why in Canada, mechanic, you get your red seal, you're for life. No matter if you did it 20 years ago, you did it today, and the technology changes. But whatever, you don't. It's not required that you keep up with the stuff. Bodies haven't changed for a long time, but it is required that you keep up with the technology in medicine, and that's for sure. But now what they're going to be doing is they're going to be, and it's not written expressly in the bill, but it is written in a way to make medical interventions, let's just say, a requirement. It gives them the possibility of making that a requirement for licensing. So when you could lose your license for not going through with an intervention if it is deemed that way. And that is scary. We have a hard enough time keeping doctors in this province as it is, or in this country. Yeah, no, they'll just move provinces. Absolutely. That's the big fear here now, right? We're already dealing with shortages. We're already dealing with long waits. It is the longest it's been in my lifetime for waits, and the news is reporting on that, but they're not reporting on the main culprit and the causes for this. Like maybe firing half of everybody, and when half of the medical staff in a province would rather be fired than take a medical intervention, it just says a lot. That's a pretty big statement. That's a pretty intense statement. Now, it's pretty clear that a lot of doctors are scared to talk about things, but I have some people that are looks like maybe willing to come on the channel to talk about this bill C-36 or bill C-36 that passed and is now the law in British Columbia. Fringy, Clyde, do something. A couple in New Zealand lost custody of their baby simply because they wanted only unvaxxed used for their transfusion during the baby's heart surgery. Holy cow. That's insane. That is insane. It sounds like medical intervention enforcement is going to end up lowering hospital wait time in Alberta as the doctors flood here. Yeah. Well, from British Columbia, or move to the States. I mean, anybody who has a medical degree is going to have a lot easier time emigrating out of Canada and immigrating into another country. I'm sure there's a lot of countries that would be just excited to have them come in and and help with their medical system. But that's definitely a thing. Now, other things to be worried about on this particular bill is the way they structure the College of Physicians. Or they have different colleges depending on what exact practitioners or the practice that's going on, whether it's there's a different college for chiropractors than there is for heart surgeons, for example. And what they've done is they're fundamentally changing the way that this is structured in British Columbia with this bill C-36. Again, it's passed, it's in. They're changing the structure where normally it would be their peers, right? The college is made up of people from the industry, from that particular field, and then they have an election. They're actually voted in by their peers in this thing. Here in Quebec, Bill 96 for the French language will cause over 200 people from the medical field to leave. I don't know about 96, that another language law bill. Unbelievable. So here's the thing. They want to change the college, the medical colleges. And what they've done is they've limited actually the number of them. So they're amalgamating and centralizing is what they're doing. And instead of, they're kicking off the boards. They're kicking off the people on the boards, and they're appointing government bureaucrats to replace the people on the board. So it's no longer going to be medical professionals that have been appointed by their peers in an election. It's going to be bureaucrats that don't necessarily have to have anything to do with the medical profession. We've seen a lot of that in Canada in the last 2 years. We've seen a lot of that, decision makers when it comes to this pandemic. And that's dangerous. That's actually dangerous. If you would mod me for a minute, I can post a link that I just found. You can unmod me right after if you just Lynn B, send it to me on Twitter or send it on Discord, and I'll get the link real quick. I have to go to another page. I don't know how to do the mod thing. I've only done it like twice. So just send it to me there. But yeah, so I've been doing a bit of research on this. I'm going to gather more information, and this is something that's going to come. But basically, yeah, we're going to have a kangaroo court running the doctors in British Columbia, and they're gonna make all the decisions. Now, one thing more that's in this is, I'll send it to you on Twitter. Are your messages open? My messages are open there. I'll just make sure I get in there and check. Get over there. Yeah, send it to me on Twitter. I'll put it in my messages. But traditionally, the way it works when it comes to medical professionals, doctors, they have the final say with what happens in any sort of scenario, right? The final word, the final say is the doctor with the patient, right? And that's where it should be. Well, this overrides that. And we're going to have a situation where no, it won't be the doctor as the final say. The doctor will make his recommendations, but the college can override his decisions. And again, the college will be made up of people not necessarily that are medical professionals. Redneck with a $2 super chat. Meme? My drunk butt getting impatient. Okay, we'll get to some of the memes. I didn't get to line a bunch of them up. I didn't have time just before we went live, so I'll grab some from the Discord and we'll go over some of those. I know how much you guys love that. Scott with the $13.99 super chat. Barley sandwich donation. Nice. the liquid barley sandwiches. Wobbly Pops. Wobbly Pops are fantastic, and really appreciate all the donos from you guys to have those Wobbly Pops. Of course, I always after the streams go into the Discord, we hang out, and that's when I get to have my Wobbly Pops. I'll drink the soda water while we're in the chat here on YouTube. I don't want to break any of YouTube's rules, so this is one of these things. Foolish saying, glad you picked up on C36. Also hope you dig into the bricks and gold info I sent you earlier. I need to dig into that. This is the things. There's so much going on right now. This is ridiculous. I've never seen this many big, crazy events happening all in such a short amount of time. This year has been insane in Canada. It's usually so boring, the news in Canada. But no, not this year. I guess when they really want to push whatever it is they're trying to push, this globalism, you want to call it that, you want to call it communism, you want to call it fascism, name it what you want to name it. When they're pushing this, it's little by little, and then all at once. And that's how it goes. And holy cow, here comes the all at once. Oh no, side, I missed the entire show. No, we just got going. We're just getting into it. So welcome. The NWO. Yeah, New World Order, Marxism, garbageism, whatever you want to call it. This is terrifying. Did the chat pause there for a second? Oh, hold on. I was seeing things. I got chat windows all over the place here, and it's weird. Redneck with a $2 super chat. YouTube show drinking contests. Have one, don't promote. Okay, so I talk about controversial topics, so I just try to stay away from anything that they could possibly use against me, and I stick to the rules. I'm in it for the long game, and that's the way I play it. I don't do the swears. I try to do that. Now, I don't, the lack of swearing on the channel is actually for you guys. It's not for YouTube and the YouTube overlords. I'm a dad, and I know when I'm watching content, a lot of times I'm watching it on my phone, and the kids come running over and they wanna see what I'm watching. And I want to be able to make content for people that are in my position, where the kids are in the room or the kids might want to come over, and then I don't swear. I'm not swearing, so they're not hearing that. I have to turn videos off when they start swearing with the kids, right? So swearing is a bad habit, and I'm a mechanic. At work, I'm swearing all the time. I know where to cut it. I know where to zip it, and it's really funny. I had a boss years ago, and he couldn't help but swear all the time, and he would swear, but it was just like the F word. He'd F-bomb this, F-bomb that. It was just an in-between word for him. Instead of saying it was effin'. And the funniest part was he'd never shut off when he was around other people, like in a business situation, or when he's talking with, there's kids in the room or something. He just switched to friggin' this, friggin' that, friggin', and it was just so funny to watch, because it's I think it's a better use of your effort to when speaking. I always try to limit my ums and ers, and that's a thing that I try to do. I make a conscious effort of it, and it's difficult. It really is difficult. But I think that's a crutch for people, is dropping F-bombs. And this guy definitely had that, but he switched it to the less bad F-bombs after a while. Friggin' this, friggin' that. That's a good thing. I'll keep it. I like you keep it professional. Yeah. Well, I try to keep it kosher, you want to call it. I try to keep it safe for, not for kids, but safe for kids in the room. I mean, like, I try to make it so if kids happen to be in the room, it's not vulgar or whatever. I respect that. I guess I'm lucky my kids sleep when you're on. Yeah, that's true. You getting Jermac in here soon, Clyde? Jermac. I don't know who Jermac is. Yeah, frigate. Where did the word friggin' come from anyway? I don't know. That's got me questioning things now. Let me pop open this link and see what it is. glclegitgov.org news. Breaking news. British Columbia Bill C36. Sorry, I'm looking at it before I pop it on the screen. It's just, I don't take offense to that. I have to do that just for safety's sake. Let's have a look at this. Breaking news and commentary. British Columbia Bill C36, drafted in secret, lays the groundwork for forced vaccination for any illness the government chooses. Okay. British Columbia Bill C36. It's a big document. It is a really big document, and I've been doing my research on it, and I don't think anybody knows all of it yet, except the people that wrote it. And this is so slimy. It's so slimy. What do we have here? British Columbia health professionals in shock over proposed Bill C36, not proposed, it's in. Are their rights being compromised? By Brian Peckford, well, yeah, the last standing signatory of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada. November 21st, 2022, Bill C36 will give the BC Minister of Health the ability to appoint college boards who are then required to pass bylaws mandating vaccines for any illness the government chooses as a condition of licensing, and creating an environment of censorship where if you challenge the government's position on anything, you will face discipline and potentially lose your license. It also allows the college to determine who has good character and who doesn't, and to define informed consent. See Division 3, starting with S500, which gives the government the power to make an application to the court without notice to the person affected and in private with the judge for an order compelling someone to comply with the government's college direction and enter premises and search, seize, or copy property of the person affected. They can secure the premises and prevent the owner from accessing the or entering the premises. Also see S514 2B. Penalties for failure to comply include fines up to $200,000 and jail for up to 6 months for each offense if the person provides false or misleading information. That is insane. Jeremy McKenzie, why is that in the chat? I sent a message out to Jeremy, seeing if he still had the same phone number after he got back. He got back to me saying he does. I'm hoping to bring him on, have a chat with him. That would be great. I'd really appreciate if he came over and did that. I don't know if he's getting back to the Raging Dissident streams. So yeah, we'll find out about that. I've been subscribed to this newsletter for some time. They're a good source for certain subjects. Okay. Well, I'm intrigued. I didn't know about this website. I'm going to do some research on this. I'm gonna have to. I can't just take something and not vet it. You know what I mean? Like this is a lot of the process that I do for pulling material, and why sometimes it takes me a while to get to a story, and I've made mistakes before, right? I made mistakes, and I hate making mistakes, but I have a thing. I vowed to myself, if I make a mistake, I'll make a video correcting the mistake, which I've done a few times now, and yeah, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Jeremy McKenzie is back and was on Viva a couple days ago. Yeah, I saw that he was. Yeah. Jeremy's live now. Okay, Jeremy's live now. So that was always a thing between Jeremy and myself, is he always streams on Fridays at the same time that I stream. So I only do the one live stream a week. He does several, but it's that time. So that just happened to be the thing. So that's why we never were able to meet up or talk with each other, just except via texts and in email. That was about it. Most Canadians think Bill 32 is the new Pope. What? Jeremy, I know beard. I know he looked like baby faced. It was funny. I'm sure the beard will come back. It doesn't take long. It's just hair. But yeah, here we go. So let's get into some of the memes from the community before we get into this story here. I've got a bunch to talk about. Again, I always have a bunch to talk about, and then how much do we actually get to? We have here student, teacher. Okay, that's great. So here's the word association. Just pin them together at the beginning, and yeah, see if you can get away with that. That's funny. What have we? So I haven't vetted any of these. Soon there's going to be a knock on that door, and you will be called outside in the hall, where there will be a man who outranks you. First, he'll compliment you on fine job you've done, and then he's going to tell you that I'm to be exchanged for a female basketball player. Oh, now I get it. Okay. That's obscure. Why is that in memes? So this story, this is a guy. He was. Is this the Russian guy who's being exchanged? Anyway, there was a basketball player from the United States, a female basketball player. Apparently, this is the only time WNBA ever gets any coverage because nobody's watching it. But a WNBA player went to Russia with a bunch of weed stuff, like weed vaping supplies, and got jailed over it. And so President Biden traded an arms dealer. Like they called him the merchant of death. What? Yeah, that was a thing. That the biggest trade in WNBA history. Oh my god, that's so funny, but bad. But like, okay, Matt Walsh was covering this, and he made a great point. He said, so much for all that gun control advocacy, all that work to ban guns, and they just let go the biggest illegal arms dealer ever known. Like, what? That is insane. That is insane. And apparently there was some other, I forget if he was a soldier or an intel guy who was also jailed over there, and he didn't get that as part of the deal. The woman broke the law in another country. I mean, like, I'm not saying like, it's not. It was considered a fair trade because the player is No, it really is the player. I didn't even care about that. Anyway, here's the deal: you go to another country and you break their laws. I mean, they say that ignorance is no excuse for the law, but like, you go to another country and you break their laws, and you get caught. I'm sorry, but it sucks. But that's kind of you got yourself into that situation. That's not unjust. That's not unjust. Nick Cage, Lord of War, is the real. This is the real guy. Yeah, it's the real guy. Holy cow. Okay, I thought we were doing memes. Oh, these are the ones in the meme channel right now on the Discord. Yeah, I like that. That's funny. That's too funny. We have to go back, Marty, to 1971 and give Pierre Trudeau a condom. Was it Pierre that needed one? Was it Pierre that actually needed that condom? Oh no, awful. Oh, where else are we? Share if you agree. These are the worst two prime ministers in Canadian history. I think we'd all agree on that one. Absolutely. Yikes. Okay, this is dangerous. I'm just going through these without vetting them. The government is just a business with no incentive to deliver agreed upon services because their customers pay them under threat of incarceration. Wow, awesome. That's a great business model. Fantastic business model. And C36 is bringing a lot more into that. Justin Hood steals from the Canadians and gives to whoever is politically convenient. Ugh. I don't even know. What else we got here? What? I don't even get the reference. What am I missing? What am I missing on that one? Oh, this was something that was really funny. Okay, so this happened at a video games award. I don't know what this kid was memeing or something.
Okay, this is the kid that...
Okay, this is probably way too loud. Sorry about that.
You know, real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
My Reformed...
What does that mean? So this kid wins a video game award or something like that, and he says that he wants to what? Honor his Reformed Orthodox Rabbi. What? Bill Clinton.
This award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you.
Okay. So that was trending on Twitter today, and I have no idea what that was all about. Does anybody in the chat know what that was all about? Is that just a meme? Anyway, he threw that one out there. That was interesting. But here's this one. I had to make a video about it. I don't normally cover entertainment stuff, but this woman apparently never made it past the 7th grade education. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that going around on social media today. But Jennifer Lawrence, you may know her from her role as I never watched the movie. I never watched it. Hunger Games. I don't know. I heard it was a ripoff of a Japanese movie that was good. That was a good movie. So that was a good movie. They took that and then ran with it. G-Meister with the $5 super chat. Alberta sovereignty bill passed 27-7. Get out. Is that for real? When did that happen? I didn't catch that. That's amazing. That's we gotta search that now. Alberta Sovereignty Act passes. Awesome. Alberta Sovereignty Act passes, and we can read the article. For some reason, recently the counter signal has been a lot of stuff's behind a paywall. I love supporting journalists, but if it's behind a paywall, I can't share the stories. That's the problem. That's the problem with these paywalls. If these outlets just ran ads or whatever, I just whitelist them and do the ads, and then we can all go over parts of them together. But if it's behind a paywall, I don't know how that works. I just kind of assume that I'm not allowed to. But yeah, nonetheless, Smith said the Sovereignty Act gives Bill. What's the first sentence? Premier Danielle Smith's Sovereignty Act passed in the early hours on Thursday morning, albeit with fewer powers than originally proposed. But here's the funny thing, 27-7. Why did they? Okay, the media was going frantic over this. Media's going frantic saying, this can't, nobody wants to support this. It's got little support. In Alberta, nobody really supports this. This isn't a thing that people want. And then 27-7. Well, I know Notley was one of the 7. Who else? Not a lot of them. Holy cow! And this is just the scam media. I mean, like fake news. Nobody says fake news anymore because it's like it's so blasé. I guess it's just it's been beaten to death. The fake news thing, but yeah, fake news. That's totally fake news. What else would you call that when they say there's no support, little to no support for this thing that passed nearly unanimously? That is a virtual unanimity. It's crazy. Anyway, passed early on the hours, fewer powers than originally proposed. Nonetheless, Smith said the Sovereignty Act gives Albertans a new relationship with the Trudeau Liberals. Absolutely. A more level-headed relationship. I mean, the level-headedness is only on one side, it seems. But and I support this going forward with no matter what the government is on the federal side. I think the provinces need to have more autonomy. And I heard recently a suggestion that the provinces should be the ones to collect taxes. That it should be the provinces that collect the taxes and set the rate, and you vote on it within your province. You vote on these issues, or you vote people in based on how you would like to see that go. That sounds like a way better idea. And then the federal government can ask for money. They can ask for money that they need for things, and the provinces can say, I don't know if I support that. I don't think I support that one. I think that's That's a way better way to run things. And it's not revolutionary, it's not crazy, and it's not something that we couldn't do. I think Revenue Canada should see you later. They should just be in charge of begging the provinces for money. I think that's a great idea. Then the federal government would have to lobby the provinces. Great concept. I actually really, really like that idea. Check out the meme I just sent you on Twitter. Okay. Can't have too many Twitter messages tonight. Nobody has debunked anything. Too funny. Let me get this up here. Get in there. Get on there. Go on. Get. Nobody has debunked anything. That's funny. That's really funny. But yes, I'm really keen on that idea. Why stop there? Make it an individual decision. Thank you, Joe. Joe is my level-headed counterpart. I'll go on tangents and he'll reel me back by giving me nice, fun little nods like that. And well, I would agree with that, Joe. I would definitely agree with that. But if we're gonna do something that we think we can actually politically pull off, I think making tax collection a provincial thing would be a step in the right direction. Of course, we all know who wouldn't be for this. There would be a lot of provinces that are way not for in that one, or not for that concept at all, especially the ones that are getting big payments from other provinces. But I think that could be a great referendum idea, like something that actually went to a referendum in Canada. So let the people decide. You want to tout democracy and how democracy functions? Let the people decide on the particular subject, not the the elected officials wanted to decide that one. Yeah, but we know where you kind of got a stake in it one way or the other. I think if you let the people of Canada decide that, it would be a better concept, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to get back to this story. I'm really glad that the Alberta Sovereignty Act passed. We'll find out more about it, and I'll probably cover that this coming Monday. I think that would be a great story for that. Sovereignty Act is not about separation. It's essentially about healthy boundary settings. Absolutely. And we should have these. You should have healthy boundaries in all the relationships in your life. If there are some relationships you have that don't have healthy boundaries, you're having an unhealthy relationship. And we're definitely having an unhealthy relationship with our government. And that is for sure. There's no qualms about that. Saskatchewan passing a sovereignty bill now too. Dogpile has started. This is how I was saying this. I was saying this last week, I believe it was, where it's like I hope so much that this happens, because that'll set the stage for then again Saskatchewan, Manitoba, hopefully British Columbia, hopefully some of the other provinces. Right now, we're not doing so great in British Columbia. It's getting kind of crappy. Getting kind of crappy. The weather is the best in Canada, but holy cow. No way. Yes, I'm going to cover that one, Lynn. We're going to get to that. Chippy's Outdoor with a $20 super chat. Good evening, peeps. Good evening. You're just getting in here now. Awesome. We haven't been going for that long. I haven't had enough time to cover a lot of the stories. But here's what I was getting into. And like I said, I don't normally cover the get out of BC. Yeah, I know. People are telling me that. Everything I have is here. Anyway, getting into this. So I don't normally cover entertainment, but this one particularly irked me. And it's because of the sheer stupid, the sheer idiocy of this statement coming from Jennifer Lawrence here. And Jennifer Lawrence, if you don't know, she's this pretty face. And yes, she has a very pretty face. And this is why I think this is why it's more infuriating, is because she's making a claim that women they have no way of getting themselves out there. They have no power. They're powerless. And historically, they've been so powerless. But there's nothing more powerful than a beautiful woman like this. Like, I'm not kidding. There is nothing more powerful than a woman with this vibrant beauty. It's for real. They'll make people move the world, move Earth for them, and with no trouble. To come out and I've got it so bad. I've got it so horrible. Women ruled Egypt. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that. That's the tone of my voice was, I don't know if that's true. Sorry about that. Yeah, powerless. Two things make the world go around: money and women. And why does money make it go around? Because women want money. Sorry, I'm not trying to be sexist here at all. What I'm saying though is women say they're powerless. They're not. They're absolutely not. Men do a lot of things for women. They will do so much for women. And it's, straight up narcissism. This is crazy. Anyway, let's get to what she actually says here.
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told, girls and boys.
Who told you that? Who told you? We were told. We were told that it wouldn't work having a woman as the main lead in an action movie. Who told you that? And what's crazy is the woman interviewing, or the woman in the conversation here, is completely in agreement of this. What? Who told you it wouldn't work?
Boys can both identify with a male lead, but boys cannot identify with a female lead.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Girls can identify with a male lead, but boys can identify with a female lead. And you get the, absolutely. Oh? How about some of these? How about some of them? Maybe Sigourney Weaver in Aliens in 1986. That's one that comes to mind. How about Mila Jovovich, Resident Evil? That came out before Jennifer Lawrence's movie. Oh, how about Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, the movie? How about Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2? She was the main character. How about Uma Thurman, Kill Bill, which came out before the Hunger Games? How about Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Came out before the Hunger Games. Nobody had done this before, right? Nobody does this. How about Kate Beckinsale from Underworld? maybe, you know, the half vampire, half werewolf lady that kills both. I don't remember the story. I know there's going to be all kinds of people. Xena, Warrior Princess. Yeah, that was a TV show. Unbelievable. How about Pam Grier as Foxy Brown? It's never been done. It's never been done. It's never been done, has it? Has it? What else did she have to say? It's never been done. Men can't relate with women. They can't associate with women as a... Oh, that's so true, she says. What? You guys are out to lunch.
just makes me so happy every single time I see a movie come out that just blows through every single one of those beliefs and proves that it is just a lie to keep certain people out of the movies, to keep certain people in the same positions that they've always been in. And it's just
what I like is this smug look. This smug look of, look at me. I mean, it makes me so happy. Just so happy to know that in my ignorance, I'm I'm telling people that I'm the most important groundbreaker in all of history in Hollywood and brought a new era for women and people kind to have awesome movies with women roles that had never happened before my sorry ass. I just can't. I can't believe this. Oh, there's just a smug look on her face. Oh, I'm so important. I'm so important. Don't you realize how important I am? I'm just so important. You get me? Yeah. Shadow band. There you go. But yeah, no. Clyde mansplaining it. That's so funny. It's ridiculous. I grew up on these movies and I loved all of these movies. And I'm told that I was supposed to be the one holding all these people back. I was holding women's back from doing the women things. No, we've been enjoying women main characters in action movies for a long time. Thank you very much. And nobody's saying don't do it. If anything, people are saying do more of that. We liked it. Remember when all of those were box office hits? It blows my mind. I'm laughing so hard. I'm getting that pain at the back of the neck when you're laughing at something that's just so ridiculous. Nobody's saying no. Nobody's saying no. I love how happy she is with herself. She's just so smug. But that's the truth, right? That's the truth. Is she probably doesn't have a lot of pushback because she's so beautiful. I mean, you can't tell me that's a. I mean, she opens her mouth, says all this stupidity, and she's a 2. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry, but I respect a woman's got a little bit of intelligence. Thank you. And it's just no. Oh, so smug. Anyway,
Those beliefs and proves that it is just a lie.
it is a lie that women haven't had these roles. It's just a lie. Just the fact that just agreeing. Carol Burnett was she was. I love Carol Burnett. She's so amazing, but not an action star. So we're talking about action stars here. Yeah, there's been a lot great. No, you know what though? Like this wokeness has destroyed female comedians. Like we haven't seen a lot of good female comedians in a long time. In fact, it destroyed good ones. Sarah Silverman, she was funny before woke. Like before she got woke, she was funny. Now she's not funny. That's the thing. Yeah, smash that like button, everybody. There's 431 people in the chat right now, and hitting that like button does a great service for the channel. And what it does is it tells YouTube and YouTube's algorithm, people in this demographic, whatever your demographic is, like this, and that would be a great thing for you to recommend more people to come join this here and check out the channel. And you know what? We're getting so close. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers now. We're holy cow, unbelievable. Within about 500 people at this point. It's insane. But yeah, thank you for the reminder, Joe. Thank you for that. But let's just finish what she has to say here.
To keep certain people out of the movies, to keep certain people in the same positions that they've always been in. And it's just amazing to watch it happen and watch you at the helm.
Oh, no music. Music is copyright strikes. Now, funny story about the movie that made her famous. It was a ripoff. It was actually a ripoff. So The Hunger Games was a ripoff of a Japanese movie. Quentin Tarantino actually pointed this out at one point, that the movie was an absolute ripoff. of a movie called Battle Royale. Now, Battle Royale was a movie from Japan that was about. let me see if you get how close these concepts are. It's a bunch of children who were forced onto an island where they had a bracelet or a thing around their neck that would self-destruct if they tried to bail out from this event. But the event was a battle royale. Actually, this is where that term came from, this movie. And they had teams, and then they had to kill each other or kill the groups, and then they would have to kill each other. And this is how it was. Or was it a free-for-all? I forget. But anyway, it's a great movie. And it's very graphic. It's got Takashi in it, and he's a Japanese national legend. If you remember MXC or Takashi no Shiro, that's that Takashi. But he was the bad guy in Johnny Mnemonic all that time ago, and he was in what was the name of it? Ghost in the Shell, the live action adaptation that some people were upset about. I didn't think it was that bad, but anyway. This movie is about all these kids that have to go and survive, and yeah. If you guessed it, this came out 3 years before the Hunger Games, and was a hit. It was a massive hit. So my Japanese is legit. Did I say anything Japanese? I didn't even catch that. Did I? But yeah, this movie was fantastic, and of course, sorry, where was I? This movie. So this movie, Battle Royale, it actually went on. It became so culturally relevant that a video game mode came out from the concept of this, and you guessed it, they call it Battle Royale. It's when they have they'll have a single map that's an island. You can't get out. Everybody's a free for all, and last man standing. And that's the way it is. Hello from Saskatchewan. Hello, Possum. Welcome to the chat. Now, Quentin Tarantino had pointed that out, that it was a ripoff, and he in fact even used the same actress from Battle Royale in his movie Kill Bill. And it's a great scene, actually, this scene with this character. She fights with a ball and chain. It's a great. I love those movies. Actually, I was watching the scene last night again, and holy cow, Tarantino is an amazing director. He just, the way his shot placement and the way he tells the story, fantastic. I can't say that enough. He's just really good. And speaking of telling stories, there's been a bunch of stories from a good friend of mine who writes books, and I just want to throw another plug out here because what a dude. He originally, you guys may recall, wrote this book. We plugged it. We made this book go viral. This is How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom by, of course, Derek Smith, and illustrated by Kaide Knipe. And this is the story of the Freedom Convoy and the Prime Minister. And it's a great kids style. It's in the what would you call it? A Dr. Seuss-esque way of writing a story, and it's about the Freedom Convoy going to Ottawa, and it's really a fun one. He then released the one face, two face, black face, blue face on these are all available on Amazon, by the way, and it's a caricaturization of some of our favorite characters in Ottawa. And then there's a limited edition of the original book, and I got myself a copy. And this is How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom, Government Transparency Edition, in light of what went down at the inquiry into the use of the Emergencies Act. So redacted the book. And it's hilarious because it's all black and white, and there's only some words visible, completely changing the narrative of the story. So it's a really good one to have in conjunction with the original book, because you want to get the actual story, but this is hilarious, and I just I really wanted to just put this out there because I'm gonna have a few copies for my friends and loved ones over the holiday season. I'm just gonna take advantage of that and help spread the word. But I'll definitely after I'll put a link in the description of the video so people can go check it out and get themselves a copy. But if you don't catch the link, you can always look up, just type in Derek Smith or Unacceptable Fringe in Amazon. It pops up right away, and that's definitely how to get your hands on one or all of those. That's definitely gonna put that out there. He's a friend of mine now. We've become friends since that book came out, and I think he does great work, and I can't do enough to plug it and get people over there and and purchase some of those up. But the word of the day is retraction. Am I retracting? Did somebody make a retraction? I haven't made any retractions. Not today, anyway. That was some time. It's been some time since I've had to. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these tabs up here because I'm both eating up all the RAM on my computer and losing my place on the things that I wanted to talk about. No Clyde merch, bro. Oh, you know what? I keep promising that I'll make Clyde merch, and I haven't gotten around to it. And yeah, sorry. I'm more focused on the stories and getting the content out to everybody. We need that Clyde merch. I'll get you guys some. Yes, we need merch. Try to get me on it. It's always at inopportune times when I'm reminded of it, like in the middle of a live stream. But yeah. Clyde needs to sell that hat and glasses. This hat is actually a friend of mine's company, so that's the thing. Clyde, do something. Mention the redacted book will only be listed till January, limited time offer. That's right. Sorry. The special government transparency edition of the book that goes in conjunction with the other book is only available till January 15th. And that's it. And then they're gone forever. There's no more getting those. The special edition. And it's funny. It's funny to add because what I love to do, and so I'm a mechanic, and one thing I did was I got these books and I put them on the tool truck. So the tool truck goes from shop to shop to shop, and there's the book just sitting there with the tools. And it's great. It's a great conversation starter. Gets people laughing, and then people are like, "Where do you get that?" And that's it's great. It's great, and it's amazing. Well, and you know what would be amazing? It would be amazing if anybody said, "That's not a great book." Not one soul. Not one soul. Everybody loves it because everyone can agree with it. That's the thing. Anyway, too much. Do I want to cover that story now, or do I want to get to that in a bit? Because that's heavy. Let's get to that later because I don't want that to. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that might be angering in this. So maybe we'll go over some of the different stuff. Holy cow, like there's so many stories that I forgot that I had lined up for the weekend, but then it becomes just too much. It just becomes too much. Let me pop a few of these tabs up here so that we can get to this. So we all know Unhappy Gilmore, and she was especially unhappy over the past week. Lauer, thank you for joining as a member. Appreciate that. Welcome to the membership on the channel. But Unhappy Gilmore, I just sent you another meme on Twitter to show everyone how to do their taxes this spring. I'll get to that in a minute. So Unhappy Gilmore, that is Rachel Gilmore over at Global News. So if you don't know who she is, she's a Global News reporter that covers the federal politics for Global News. Global News TikTok host. It says a lot right there. Alleged Spice Girl. I don't know where that comes from. Just the only reporter with duck face. In Canadian news, anyway. Why did you duck face for your professional shot and not center your photo? Okay, whatever the case. Anyway, she had done this presser where she has she gotten rid of a lot of this stuff? Probably. She did a presser where she was speaking about violence and harassment, online digital harassment and stuff that goes on for women's, and especially women's of culture, or of culture, of color, of whatever the new the term de jour is. Because if you get the wrong term, then you're in the R camp. But it's just too funny. Because what is it? It's just, I'm a victim. Pay attention to me. And it's cry bullying. They're cry bullies is what they are. And what they've done is they've pissed off a lot of people for essentially fake news. What went down during the convoy was just egregious. The stories that they ran talking about a group of people that wanted to overthrow the government. Like, that's not what was happening. What? No, it was a bunch of truckers who were tired of a policy that the government had for restricting people's travel. That's what was going on. No. But they turned it in, and they call us conspiracy theorists, right? And it's insane. It's insane. The stories that they were coming up with about everybody's a racist, a misogynist, all the epithets, anything you can think of. And I think I even got my. Oh, I don't know where I put it. Okay, but just all the stories that they put out there, they're blatantly false, like absolutely untrue. What was happening during the convoy, and then afterwards, like playing up this everybody's a victim, everybody had all this stuff, and then what happens? Backlash happens. When you lie about people get mad about it, and some people overreact, and there are people that sent her really nasty letters saying that they wanted to do stuff to her, and that's wrong. And I absolutely don't condone that. Actually, I say don't even contact these people. Don't contact her. Don't do that. I don't think so. If you want to file a complaint for what she's been doing, file it with Global. I'm sure it won't go anywhere, but do that. And write your MP. Write a letter. Email your MP. Say, I don't think it's right that you're funding this slanderous corporation that's running stories about people that I know for a fact to be false. And then she tried to do hit pieces about Pierre Poilievre and associating Pierre Poilievre with Jeremy McKenzie, even though they weren't associated with each other. And then obviously like the whole diagolon craziness that the media ran with, but then trying to tie that to Pierre Poilievre. It's this whole guilt by association stuff that these journos and the woke culture warriors try to do, free social justice warriors. They're not warriors. You know what warriors are? Warriors are the people that put themselves in harm's way. Warriors are people that put themselves in harm's way. They can't call themselves social justice warriors. They're social justice cry bullies. Come on, Clyde. For Derek, he needs your help. Derek needs my help? Derek, you need my help? Keyboard warriors. Yeah, they're not even, they're just, willful victims. Absolutely. And this is what's going on. This is what's going on. So she gets a bunch of backlash for the crap that she's put in. And you know what? Here's the thing. Global was like, you're doing good. We're getting clicks. Keep going. Keep with the vitriol. Keep going with it. Keep it up. This is what we want more of, because they got bad. They just don't get any clicks. That's the problem. So they don't get any of that. So she puts this out. I'm done. Free press is under attack. We won't be silenced, but we need you to stand up for us. This is the call to arms for unhappy Gilmore.
I'm a female reporter and I have been receiving death threats for months now.
Okay, first off, straight out of the gates, not I'm a reporter. I'm a reporter. I'm a urinalist. I'm a person of a particular profession. No, I'm a female person of that particular profession. Why? You think we can't tell? Do you put your pronouns in your bio? What is prostitute? I like that. That's great. Opinion writer. That's it. That's probably more accurate. Opinion writer. CVM for sure. I mean, I'm an opinion tuber. I'm an opinion YouTuber. I don't even claim to be a journalist. That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing. And I think I do more digging than this one does ever. And I do it with a full-time mechanics job. Oh, I need to start doing that. I need to start doing videos and saying, I'm a male mechanic. I'm a male automotive mechanic. What would people's response be if I started that? My introduction was always, I'm a male automotive mechanic. Let me explain what chromosomes I have, in case you couldn't tell. Oh, so right out of the gates, I'm a female reporter.
My DMs, my replies on Twitter, my emails, this is what they look like every day.
Okay, so one thing you can do, you can turn off your DMs. You don't have to keep your DMs open. I keep my DMs open. I can't always get to all the flood of stuff that comes in, but I keep them open. But Twitter does this handy thing, right? If it's an account you're following, it puts it right in your main inbox. Everything else goes to another inbox. You have to look for it. If you want to find this stuff, you got to look for it, because it's coming. But my DMs. Okay, close your DMs. Don't keep them open. Especially if you're going to run the vitriol that you do. Run the tabloid. Oh, it's gross.
And it's not just me. People are targeting female and especially women of color.
Wait, okay. So people are targeting. She turned into... oh, is that senator's name? Oh, I forget his name. I don't know why that just reminded me of... now I'm not gonna remember his name now because I thought of it and then it slipped my mind. Whatever. Moving on. They're targeting the females, but especially females of color. What? Okay, she's a journalist. She's a reporter. She's gonna report on statistics based on this. No. Nope. Not at all. Just because she's got one friend who's another wokest, I guess you can say, that Aaron Eiffel, sorry. She's another one of these characters that just goes after the social justice warrior stuff. Everything's racist, everything's misogynistic, and you gotta point it all out. Every story's about that. When every story is about that angle, you have a bias, and it's ridiculous. When every story you write has that angle, it's just Happy Shilmore. I like that. That's funny. Oh, that's good. That's good. But yeah, she had her breakdown here.
Journalists trying to silence our voices. Myself and my colleagues
trying to silence our voices. Okay. They're trying to get you to speak the truth. Now, there are people, and don't get me wrong, there are people that send these nasty messages. And here's the truth and the crux of it all. I could send that stuff to me too. Like, these are all anons. And this is another reason why a lot of people argue against the anon accounts, anonymous accounts. I don't even engage with a lot of the anonymous accounts because I'm like, if you come to attack me with an anonymous account, I don't really feel like a motive, or I don't feel motivated to defend my position to somebody I don't know or don't ever will meet, you know. that's just the reality of the situation. But I could make anon accounts and threaten myself too. I mean, I'm implying that could have happened, but I'm not saying that that's a fact, that that's what happened here. But it is a possibility.
Erica and Saba have been on the receiving end of these for months, and we've reported it to the police, and so far, nothing has happened.
Normally, the police respond and do something when something is actually a crime. Real legitimate threats. And this is the thing. So real legitimate threats, when police see that, they know how to discern what's a real legitimate threat. And I'm not sure what's in these messages, and again, I'm not saying that. I'm definitely saying, do not send these messages to people. Do not threaten people. Keep it peaceful, folks. And you don't even have to. And I don't understand the concept of DMing somebody you disagree with on Twitter. That's not me. If I'm gonna say something that I disagree with somebody, I'll say it publicly on their very much public, whatever they're saying, and that's that's a thing. We need a Clyde reads hate mail video. Come on. Maybe that might be a good one. For some reason I don't get all that much hate mail, which is interesting, which is actually really interesting, because it's not like my message doesn't get out there far. You know, I've got quite a bit of reach, and I don't get a lot of hate mail. That's quite something. It's quite something. So maybe I'm not being vitriolic and getting people mad because they feel what I'm doing is unjust or something. I'm not doing that. You're too lovable, Clyde. Thank you, Colette. I mean, I try to be reasonable with people, right? If I come in contact with somebody I disagree with and they're being reasonable with me, I'll be reasonable right back with them. There's no reason not to be. And if they get all chirpy or whatever, either I shut it off and I walk away, or, I mean, I can be chirpy back to people, but it comes to a point where it's like, is this getting heated where somebody's want to duke it out? I don't want to get in that situation, so I'll just, too bad. Too bad. No winning over this one. No winning over this one. And that's just the way it is. What kind of cars do you work on, Clyde? Dealer or private shop? Private shop. I've worked at a dealer before. It sucked. I like the challenge of doing something different every job. It's definitely a good way to do things. Wow, the no brains, no headache crowd, hard at woke. She gets what she gives. Shocker. Yeah, that's it. If you're gonna get back what you put in, you get back what you feed into the system, and you get an amplification depending on how big your amplification is on your end. That's just the way it works. Oh, excuse me. Duke Darby. You're too Canadian to hate. You're the salty cracker of Canada, and you're awesome. Thanks, Duke. I appreciate that. Oh, I wish I was on Salty Cracker's radar, because I like him, and I'd love to chat with him. He's a cool guy. I really like his content. But yeah, let's get more into this.
Meanwhile, we've been told that our photos were plastered to the wall of a garage and they were deciding which one of us they wanted to kill. And we're told...
Okay, you were told that. Did that actually happen? I don't know. I don't know.
That we're being stalked, and I don't feel safe leaving my house anymore. Every day, it's like this.
You live in Ottawa, and there's no truckers to lower the crime rate. Sorry, I had to throw that dig in. No, but you live in Ottawa. It's not a safe city, is it? I don't know. I don't think you have anything to worry about, Unhappy Gilmore. I really don't. I like Salty Cracker too. Yeah, he's great. Clyde is really cool. We love Clyde. Albion Slayer, thank you. Or Sayer, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Lots of women on garage walls, washrooms, waiting rooms, LOL. That's great. It's true. Ottawa was safe 10 years ago. Is it now? Ranty Gilmore. Whingy Gilmore, I think this one.
Every day. When right-wing influencers talk about me.
Viva Fry. Viva Fry. Is he even right-wing?
I get another one.
Is he even right-wing? Is he even right-wing? That's a big question. People try to, I don't know. Actually, not a lot of people try to box me into the right wing. And I don't think I'm like right. I think I'm pretty centrist. I'm pretty much on the center. Glenn, I like AVE too. AVE's great. AVE's a great dude. I really appreciate his content. Viva is centrist. Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty center too. I'm center. I don't have strong views in one or any direction. I mean, I do have strong views on like classical liberalism, like what was known as liberalism originally. The whole idea of liberty, freedom, property rights, property ownership, the getting to keep what it is that you've the means of your own production. You're a safe, honest man, Clyde. I try to be. I try not to get too involved too much into the hyperbole of stuff. And I'll use hyperbole as what it's intended to be, as a tool of demonstrating a point. Jimmy Dore, no BS progressive. I like Jimmy Dore. I don't agree with everything that Jimmy Dore says because he's very left. But I like him. He's super anti-war, which I'm stoked about. I like that. I'm against wars. Period. I don't favor one over another. I just don't like wars happening. But of course, I'm not anti-war in the sense that if there was an invading force, I wouldn't be against defending ourselves. So I mean, I'm like what is it? The turn the other cheek. Most people misinterpret that proverb or that sentiment from Jesus, right? The turn the other cheek. And people think that means to just walk away from any situation. That's not what he meant. It's a form of pacifism, but pacifism isn't being a rollover. That's not what that's about. You turn the other cheek. Turning the other cheek is about presenting the other one. Saying, you want to do it again? And it's really a concept of, you know, you're not looking for a fight, but you will protect yourself if you have to. And I think that's the way we should live our lives. You know what I mean? You can be, you know, pacifistic in your ways, in your ways about moving around. Yeah. Being an anti-aggressor. There you go. God is the judge. There you have it. Defend your family with your life. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm not out there looking for a fight. But if someone brought me the fight, I would definitely defend myself. I'm AMTI Gilmore. AMT Gilmore. G Meister with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. You're the okay, let's sit in the Chief's hut and hear you out. Pass the smoking pipe around, Clyde. Do something. Yeah, something like that. I want to hear other people's perspective. And one thing that I really can't stand, and I get this all the time, is the Kathy Newman. So what you're saying is, and then twist the words around, and it's a tactic. You're not looking to solve anything. Like, I'm genuinely looking in life and in Canada, in the world. I'm looking to actually solve problems. That's my purpose here. And you're not going to do that by just instigating with people you disagree with. You're not solving anything. And that's just an instigation tactic. So what you're saying is, and then completely misrepresent their argument. It's what even are lobsters? That's right. Kathy Newman. And I don't see it as that clever of a tactic. I don't see it as that. Because what you're doing is you're sacrificing the actual conversation with the individual for cheap hits and winning over the audience. That's all that is. That's all that is. It's gaslighting. It's well, it's that's a hard one. So gaslighting would not. Gaslighting is trying to convince the other person that that's what they're saying. But all you're trying to do is trying to convince the audience that that person is not a worthy person to speak with. And that's what that's about. I think it's so bad faith. It's ridiculous. And that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it unless I'm doing it in jest. Unless I'm doing it because somebody did it to me, and then I'll turn that around and I'll be like, oh, so what you're saying is, because once I know somebody's arguing in bad faith, it's really hard to bring them back. It's really hard to bring them back to a conversation where they're arguing in a way that's actually seeking out the truth. And you could be in an argument or a conversation with somebody and understand the other person's perspective, and they can understand your perspective. And I think that's what this is really all about, these discussions and stuff, is trying to understand from what the other person's perspective comes from and how they arrived there and why it is that they came to the conclusions that they've come to. And then either change your opinion based on the new knowledge that you just learned, or contest that logic with other opinions and information and try to come out of it where you both come out of it better off than you did when you entered the conversation. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. This whole idea of I'm going to win this. I'm going to win it. I'm going to school this guy. Internet blood sports. He got wrecked. He got wrecked with my logic and facts. Like, no, that's not what this is about. Nobody's out here to wreck people. We're out to better ourselves and better our communities, better our civilization. That's the whole point. So what you're saying doesn't better anything. It doesn't better anything. We're all left off worse off than we started in that whole situation. The people on one side are just frustrated and their minds haven't been changed. And the people on the other side are giddy and happy that they maybe had some sophist trick to win the day. But you're not winning anybody. You're not winning. Nothing's won. Just time was wasted. And it's horrible. It's the term you're looking for is intellectual honesty. That's true. That's true. Be honest. Don't just be honest with the other person. Be honest with yourself. One of the hardest things to do is to go into a conversation with a person and them reveal something to you that you had not previously known. And then from that point, accept the premise that is counter to your position. That's very difficult. It's very difficult, and that's something I strive to do better all the time, because there's an emotional attachment that you get to whether you want to call it ideology or ideas. Raquel Dancho on the show. If she would come on, I would love to have her. Absolutely. But there's an emotional attachment that you get to that your mind builds to these concepts, right? And it gets the best of us. It gets the best of us where you get so emotionally attached to a concept, and then when you're shown that concept is illogical or it doesn't work or it's flawed in some way, people often emotionally respond to that. Emotional attachment to the facts and reality, I guess. No, it's emotional attachment to a concept, and then facts and reality are these things that demonstrate to you that this concept works. But then, and I've been there where I had ideas that I thought were great, and I was presented with new ideas that I would like to talk with Rachel. Not even to attack her, just simply see how triggered she gets by dissenting opinion. Yeah, that would be amazing. But yeah, it's not about the facts and like new facts and logic come to mind or come to present themselves, and then your old ideas don't work with the new facts, the new information. And that's a hard one to get over. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And what a lot of people's response to that is to la 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 la. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I'm going to just maintain the neural pathways that I had in my head, and I'm not going to branch new ones, and I'm not going to merge new ones to have a better understanding of how the world works. Yes, it's called cognitive dissonance. Yeah. And that's the thing. Oh, she might be getting sued. I think she's getting sued by James Top. That's a thing. That was a thing. So anyway, I keep cutting this off. Cognitive dissonance is a 13 itch. I don't get the reference there. You should invite German MP Christine Anderson onto your show. If she would come on my show, absolutely. I would absolutely love to talk with her, or even do a long conversation with her if she'd allow it. Anyway, let's get into this.
Racist, misogynistic, disgusting, and threatening language in all of them. And
I click it and it's just like epithets. Racist, misogynistic, blah, blah, blah.
our only crime is doing journalism.
Well, journalism isn't a crime. And you don't do journalism. Sorry. You do tabloids or you do hit pieces on people. Sorry. You're not a victim. And you're not a journalist.
Free press is under attack. And people need to...
Free press is under attack. There's 2 bills that I can think of that are attacking the free press. Sorry, honey. You're not free. You cost the taxpayers quite a bit of money.
Pay attention and do something about it, or one of us will get killed.
What are you gonna do about it? What is your call to arms? What does the doing something about it look like? This is what I don't understand about a lot of these people. They come to the table with complaints but no opinion, no solution. Like it's for real. What is the gonna do something about it? What does that look like? How does that present itself? How is that incarnated into a thing that occurs? How do we do something about this attack on free speech or freedom of the press? Yeah. Well, mine would be to get rid of Bill C-11 and Bill C-18. That's for sure. Let's get rid of those. That'd be a good start. Let's maybe bring back a code of ethics. Code of ethics in journalism. That might be a thing. Maybe let's stop trying to misrepresent people for political points. That might be a good thing. And maybe I'm guilty of that sometimes and I'm just unaware of it. I know when you have biases, that's something you tend to do. And if anybody catches me on that, Point it out. Point it out. Absolutely. Point it out. But don't misrepresent your enemies, your political enemies. Understand where they come from. I think that's the best way to go forward with these things. You know, if you actually understand where people come from, then you can have the discussions about how to move forward. Glenn McGregor wannabe. No, Glenn McGregor actually comes out punching. You're not gonna see that from Unhappy Gilmore. That's for sure. Holy cow! Yeah, Glenn McGregor. What a piece of work that guy is too. Holy. Yeah, that's something else. But so Marco Mendocino put in here, replied or quote tweeted her video, "I'm done," saying the abuse that Rachel and other journalists have received, in particular women and people of color, is heinous and unacceptable. We'll continue working with journalists, media organizations, CAJ, and law enforcement to address these issues and keep everyone safe. To which Dre Humphrey from Rebel News said, "Do you mean you'll stand up for journalists backed by the state or independent journalists as well?" Good. Are you gonna stand up for all journalists or just the ones that run favor for you? That's a great question. That is a great question. Of course, people in the comments, Rebel News is not journalism, and it's easy for you to be quick with snappy comments until you're the target. Well, they are the target. Sorry. And I don't agree with all the tactics of Rebel News. I think sometimes they can be a little bit tabloidy themselves. But they are journalists. It is a news organization. It is a news agency. But they're definitely targeted by the people on the other side of the aisle. It's crazy. Conrad Black is not woke. Why do I know that name? I know that name. I'm sure I've read a bunch of his stuff. Marco needs to come moose hunting with me. Mebble Moose? What? Yeah. So that's a thing. Dre to the rescue, thanks. Now we just get shot, pepper sprayed, and arrested. Oh, and underpaid or not paid at all. And that's the real Andy Lee show. I gotta get her on the show at some point. I was trying during the inquiry, but she was busy. But it's the Happy Gilmore story. Oh, I love this tweet. I'm gonna share this with you. This is Lay saying, "Enough is enough. Rachel Gilmore and Erica Eiffel should be removed from their jobs immediately for their protection. If a petition was started to prevent them from reporting, I would sign it for their safety." I love that. You need to read Conrad Black. I believe I know Conrad Black. I need to look him up now. Conrad Black. Yes, I know Conrad Black. I just haven't seen that name in print in a while. That's why I'm drawing a blank there. That's right. Clyde, have you seen the new Bill C-36? Rewind to the beginning of the show. I opened with that. I said a lot about it, and tomorrow I'll be on Allison Morrow's channel. Tomorrow I'll be on Morrow's channel at 2:30 Pacific time. So check your local time zone, and we'll be talking about that bill there. It's actually news in America, and it's not news in Canada. Isn't that something? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Bill C-36 is a real piece of work. That's wow. So wowers, big old wowie wow. Okay. It all just keeps continuing. There's just so much more, always more to add to this. I thought this one was funny.
Fucking ass. I'm a liberal woman, and I've been receiving death threats and a lot of hate mail. That's terrible. We need to do something about this. I'm a conservative woman, and I've been receiving a lot of death threats. Shut the fuck!
Rachel Gilmore versus Chelsea Handler. That's yeah, Greg Wycliffe, go give him a follow. He's awesome. That's too funny. But yeah, that's it is the way it is. It is actually the way it is. Because Clyde going prestige worldwide. Boats and Hoes. What? Oh, Boats and Hoes. I love that. I love that video. Yeah, Greg is awesome. Go give Greg a follow on Twitter. He's good stuff. There's so much. There was so much that I had that I wanted to share. But you know, things pass and time goes on. Anyway, I got G Meister with the $10 super chat. Did you hear about the Conservative MP that was ejected from Parliament for telling the truth? She called the Liberal MP a liar because that's exactly what he was doing. Okay, well, let's get to this story then. Let's get to this story because I wanted to cover this in a video, and I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it in the stream tonight, but I know I have it queued here somewhere, right here. So here's the deal. Let's get into this story. And this is Raquel Dancho, I think is how it's pronounced. And she is a Conservative MP. And what was happening in the House of Parliament, and I mean, we could get into it. Essentially, I don't need to show it. What happened was, Conservative MPs were, it was question period. They're doing their chance to say a thing. They said, "Hey, liberals," and it's so funny. The House of Parliament is this passive aggressive, most annoying way to talk to each other thing I've ever seen in my life. Don't be sorry, G. It's all good. It's all good because there's a lot of stories that I want to get to, but. I mean, a lot of these can end up as videos as well. It's just what I can get to in about the 2-hour window that I have here in the live stream. But if you guys are talking about it here, then it's interesting, and let's talk about it. So here's the thing: the House of Parliament is just the most annoying, passive aggressive way of doing nothing. Nothing gets done. Question period is an exercise in futility. It is just I never paid attention to it because I knew it was schmarmy and I don't like it. And then I watch it and what is it? It's schmarmy and I don't like it. It's schmarmy and I don't like it. And that's the way Parliament is. It's theater. Yeah, there you go. It's a theater. And what are they doing? They're trying to dog whistle to their bases, and that's what they're doing as they get up and they say these things, and they try to get something that's worthy for the news to cover. Yeah, there you go. Smarmy, smug, C-nuts. You actually spelled it that way, C-nuts. Knuts. I know what you meant. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. And so they have their question period, and the Conservatives, they raise a legitimate concern. There's a bill C-21, which was pitched as freezing handgun sales in Canada. Okay, that's what their plan was. So they brought it in, they table it, they get it to the point where they're going to be, reading it and then trying to pass this piece of legislation. So at the very last minute, the Liberals come in with like almost 500 pages of an amendment to add to the bill. the most dishonest governing possible. Like the talk about transparency. It's so ridiculous. And it turns this gun ban of just handguns. That was the thing. Handguns. You're going to ban the sale and transfer of handguns in Canada. Done. No. Now it includes pretty much anything that you might have in your safe. Like the sheer number of firearms. And it's so ludicrous that some of them are like blunderbusses and stuff. Like they're not even practical firearms that people have. Some of them are like designer luxury handcrafted Italian sporting rifles. Like guns that have like $70,000 price tags on them. They're like, nope, can't have that. That might be used in a robbery. Totally disingenuous. And this is where I'm getting at that point where the thing is they're not being honest. They're not being honest. They're not presenting what it is that's being truthful. And the conservatives in this are not misrepresenting what's happening here. And sometimes they're guilty of that. Sometimes they misrepresent and they do that. And I know they're doing it. And I'm like, just don't do that. Be honest. Be honest and point it out when it's true. And this was a case where they were pointing out something that was absolutely true. The last minute amendment is actually 85% of the entire bill. Right? That is insane. That is insane. So this bill, and it's so disingenuous. It should not be allowed. I don't know how this is allowed, where you amend the bill so it's become a new thing. It's an entirely new thing at the last minute. Clyde, they are going for everything we own. Our cars are next. Well, if the housing market pops, your home will be next too. So nothing on Elon Musk. You guys are hitting on topics that I wasn't going to hit tonight. Oh, maybe I'll get into that. I'm not sure. We'll see where we go with this one. So they gave legitimate arguments about why this is a bad bill and why we just got to scrap it and start fresh and how it's being so disingenuous. What do? They get up and they give some stupid platitudes. Mr. Speaker, I don't address the person directly, so it's got to be passive aggressive. Mr. Speaker, what the conservatives don't understand is we're keeping Canadians safe by and none of these are going to be hunting rifles and yada yada. And if there is a hunting rifle on there, we'll make sure it's not in there by the time we pass the bill. Nope. And then Raquel Dancho calls one of them a liar across the aisle. And so there's rules, there's etiquette and stuff in the House. So the speaker says, you got to redact and apologize. And so she says, oh, I redact. He's like, no, you got to apologize. And she's, nah, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. So he consults with his guys because he didn't even know. I guess this didn't happen very often. And so yeah, it goes stalemate, and he kicks her out. boots her from Parliament. And you know what? She got a presser out of it. She got a press conference, and she was able to speak about what was happening. And well, let's just get right to that portion of it here.
Removed from the House of Commons for telling the truth. And I was raised by a very strong woman who told me never to back down from the truth, and that's exactly what I'm doing. The Liberal government got up in the House of Commons and insinuated that Conservatives have been obstructionists when it comes to Bill C-21, that we are part of the problem. And they were talking about a sneaky letter written by Liberals, the Bloc Québécois and the NDP that Conservatives were not invited to participate in. And this is carried out in light of the Liberal government bringing forward the most underhanded amendment in the most underhanded way that is the largest ban of Canadian hunting rifles in the history of our country. So again, they have banned the largest and the biggest and the most incredible change to impact everyday hunters. Millions of hunters will be impacted by what they've done, and they brought it forward at the 11th hour in the most sneaky and underhanded way. And for the past week, in partnership with the Bloc Québécois, the Liberals have filibustered and not allowed Conservatives to weigh into the debate at Public Safety Committee. And so today in the House, to hear a Liberal accusing us of being the problem, insinuating that we are obstructionist, is the most hypocritical thing I have heard in the 3 years that I've been elected as a member of Parliament. The most popular piece of feedback we get from our constituents is that the Liberal government does not answer questions, that they don't tell the truth. And so today we had enough of it, and I called them out for lying, which they did lie. And I will say it again out here, that they lied today in the House of Commons.
Ms. Dancho, can you clarify what exactly are you saying the Liberals did without informing the Conservatives? Can you just clarify what actually happened?
So the Liberal member who stood up and lied, he was talking about a letter written to the Public Safety Chair. And Conservatives were not informed of this. We were not invited to the table to discuss it. And so that was the Bloc and the NDP and the Liberals working together without the consent or knowledge of Conservatives. But then the Liberal gets up today and says that we're part of the problem, insinuating that we are being obstructionist. But we weren't even invited to participate in that 1064 letter. And the only reason they brought forward that 1064 letter is because the Liberals have so circumvented the democratic process of legislation that they're now scrambling, having heard from thousands of hunters from across the country how badly they screwed this up, how much of an impact this is going to have on everyday hunters and farmers and Indigenous hunters and wildlife conservationists. They're now realizing what they did, so now they're scrambling and backtracking and trying to get extra meetings for witnesses. They want 2 meetings for witnesses, and they expect 2 meetings. That's 4 hours of testimony to represent 2 million hunters in this country. And we're talking from the Yukon, Northwest Territories, Métis, First Nations, Inuit, BC, Manitoba.
Okay, it goes for a while, so I'm going to cut it there. But D. Gillis says, Clyde, the list of guns we can have would be way easier. It would be a short list, very short. Oh man, it's unbelievable. Yeah, they're coming for firearms. Firearm ownership is off the table with this government, and that is just awful. It's just awful. Sorry, I'm just organizing here a little bit more. But yeah, so that's that story. MP Raquel Dancho again doing the Banff thing of the day, and getting up there and showing people that just you can't just roll over on these things. And I'm glad that they're putting pressure on, but I mean let's hope it's not too late. We've had this anemic opposition against the Liberal NDP coalition for too long, and it seems like they're just starting to grow a pair. And I hope it's not too late as they keep trying to pass these laws. And we know with this coalition, not a coalition, totally a coalition government that we have here. And of course, Jagmeet Singh on Twitter every day talking about when I become prime minister, I'm going to do this. You can try. Call an election. You can try. Let Canada decide. There's a total vote of non-confidence across the country today, and our representatives are not honoring that. Not honoring that at all. So again, clearing tabs. So many tabs. I got too many tabs open. I've got everything open. I may not be able to get to some of the stuff I wanted to get to, but I want to cover this story. And this story comes from the US, but it has a lot to do with what's going on here in Canada. as well. Bug meat for PM. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Bug meat. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Jug meat. Bug meat. You must get his stuff from Ottawa. Ottawa, that nice new cricket manufacturing facility. Not in Ottawa, sorry. It's in that's in London, Ontario. That's right. Tempest with a $5 super chat. Hail Clyde. Please let the awesome people in the chat please tell the awesome people in the chat about CCFR and the important work they're doing for us. Thanks, brother. Yeah, okay. I was going to get to the next story, but I will talk about the CCFR. You need to go follow them on Twitter, possibly send them a donation. This is important here. CCFR. Pop that up. So get on over there. That's the Canada's leading, fastest growing firearms rights organization and longest standing registered lobby. Protect your sport, protect hunting, protect firearm ownership in general. Get over there to the CCFR and donate, lend what you can. The Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights. And it's our NRA here in Canada, and it's not big enough. We need to make it bigger. Get on over there and give them a follow, not unfollow. Give them a follow, and the notification bell and all that jazz. If you want to get hold up to get up to speed on what's going on. Obviously. A lot of stuff. Major announcement, we've failed. Oh, this is from May 26, 2020. Yeah. So, yeah. Stick with these guys. Make sure that we can get them the funding that they need to help protect our rights. And this is the thing I think us Canadians have been really slacking on, and that's the liberals and the global elites and all these other people who have an agenda. They're funding the things that they want. They're funding these things that they want, and they're pushing their agenda through. And we've been off the ball. We've been slacking is what we've been doing. So this is what we need to do. We need to put our money where our mouth is, put our time where our ambitions are, and get the message out there. And get some funding and get some ability for these lobby groups to have the power to push forward. Because without it, we're up shit's creek. That's where we are. Anyway, let's get into this story, and this is coming out of Chicago, and this absolutely pertains to us. It absolutely pertains to us because it's very important that we see where this is going. Now, a lot of people have been saying, hey, they're getting pretty woke in these schools around the world, or around the West, in Canada and the United States. They're teaching us all kinds of stuff. Once the government takes over MAIDs, wow, yeah, crazy. That was one of the stories I didn't get to tonight, but I'm getting to this one. So if you've been paying attention, I had Dean Billings on the channel. He was running for school board trustee in Richmond, BC. He did not win that race, but it was a start in the right direction. We gotta get people in these school board trustee elections. This is when it happens, when they have the mayoral candidates and the people, running for mayor, your local, whatever, your local stuff. Part of that is a school board trustee. Now, you need to understand that you don't have to have children in the school system to vote for a school board trustee. You don't have to have someone in your family in the school system to run for school board trustee. This is a position that anybody can run for and get. But this is our future that they're messing around with our kids. This is important. Clyde for school board trustee. I think I'm better on the bully pulpit here. I think I'm better putting the message out here than wasting my time at these meetings. But I definitely support people with the right opinions at these things. I sent Mitzi Dean an email and she ignored it about this bill. So important thing is to pay attention to what's happening, because a lot of parents are thinking, oh, you know what? I'm just going to get my kids. I'm going to put them in a private school and no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Turns out that's not the case. This is a sickness. It's a cancer on our society right now. And this is what we're dealing with. Now, thank goodness for Project Veritas and other organizations like them, because they do the hard work of infiltrating and getting in there and getting people in a position where they feel comfortable to tell the truth about what they're doing and their ambitions and their motives are, and getting them to say it on camera. And this is a great story. This is the dean of students from a school. By the way, this is from Ken Windsor. You got to give Ken Windsor a follow over on Twitter. Great Twitter account over there. He's a great dude, and he's always got good stuff to say on the Twitterverse. Dean of students brags about bringing LGBTQ plus health center to teach queer sex to minors. Elite Chicago private school dean of students brags about bringing, it's an acronym, health center to teach. Yeah, it's just the same thing. It's a really cool part of my job, he says. Now I'll just play this.
I had like our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Meet Joe Bruno, Dean of Students at the prestigious Francis W. Parker Private School in Chicago, which happens to charge $40,000 per student.
They're just like passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're like, how does this butt plug work? How does this work? That's a really cool part of my job.
Parents might be stunned to learn that Bruno's version of love and acceptance means handing out sex toys to underage students.
I've been the dean for 4 years. During Pride, we do a Pride Week every year, and I had our LGBTQ plus health center come in. They were passing around butt plugs and dildos to my students, talking about queer sex, using lube versus using spit.
Who is this?
This is an LGBTQ plus health center came in to talk to my high school students. Nice. They're just passing around dildos, butt plugs. The kids are just playing with them. They're looking at them.
In the school?
In a classroom.
Wow.
Yeah. While I'm sitting there.
Wow.
Then we had a drag queen come in, pass out cookies and brownies and do photos.
That's so amazing. And everybody's cool with that, like the butt plugs and the dildos. Nobody complains.
No.
I mean, if the parents found out, would they?
No. It's queer sex. This is the drag queen that came in.
What's her name?
Alexis Bevels.
Alexis Bevels.
And just hung out in my classroom.
And was there?
Or hung out in my office.
You have so much freedom. So much wiggle room.
So much freedom. So much money.
I mean
to do stuff.
Trustees are okay with that too? They don't know.
They would. It's I wouldn't even run it by them. Why would I run it by them? They would be like, oh my God, that's wonderful.
Yeah. How old were the kids with the classroom?
14, 18. They're like, how does this work? How does this work?
Right.
So yeah, that's a really cool part of my job is I don't have to worry about stuff like that. I had
There's a thing called the law. You should worry about stuff like that. So I'm really wondering why this guy hasn't been arrested yet, because these are minors you're talking about introducing to sexual proclivities. And, so I mean, you could say what you want about people and their sexual proclivities. I'm of the persuasion that if people want to, they could do whatever they want with their lives. Their personal lives, they do whatever you want with your dingus in your own personal time. It's all you. It's all you, bucko. That's my opinion. But when it comes to kids, that's a whole other world. That's a whole other world. And you're talking about, and let me just phrase this correctly. If it was a woman, a straight woman, introducing sexual stuff to little straight boys, it would be horrible. If it was a man introducing sexual stuff to women, little straight girls, that would be horrible. So it's not about the proclivity. It's about teaching sexual things to children. That is where it's horrible. So yeah, I just want to nip that one in the bud, because I know that a lot of the gaslighting and a lot of the reaction from people who are in support of this stuff, they turn it around and they say it's a anti-LGB alphabet soup position. It's not. It's not an anti-anybody position, unless you're talking about people who, yeah, talking about pedos, essentially. If that's who you're talking about, yeah, it's an anti-them position, absolutely. But the degree of comfort that this individual had when discussing this, and this is why I think it's so important for organizations like Project Veritas to do what they're doing, because this needs to be exposed. It needs to get out there, and people need to learn about this and understand what's happening. It's grooming the kids, because you get the kids, you get to the parents, or you get to the kids, you get to the parents, et cetera, et cetera. It's a sickness. It is a sickness. Alphabet soup. Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. You're not going to convince me. Okay. So I'll stick with the LGB, right? That's an acronym. That's an acronym that works. An acronym that works for sure. But everything else is something else. G Meister, the $5 super chat. I may be wrong here, but this is bordering on pedophilia, in my opinion. It's not bordering on that. It's introducing sexual stuff to children. That's a fact. That's a thing. I missed another super chat earlier. Linda Hunter with a $2 super chat said, "Shout out to anime and 2+2 cats." All right, shout outs for them. Awesome. Have you seen the follow-up video? No. Oh, is that the one where he confronts him? I haven't seen that. I don't want to show all their property here on YouTube. You can go check out what's happening there. And I will check out that. I will check that out afterwards. But it's important that we understand that this is the stuff it's happening, and it's moving into our schools here in Canada. And here's an article from the Post Millennial. Gender Bender Day, BC, British Columbia. Elementary school encourages kids to dress trans in Day of Affirmation. Can't make this up. An elementary school in British Columbia encouraged staff and students to dress outside their comfort zone, in quotes, Thursday for a day of affirmation to show support staff, students, and parents who identify as trans, non-binary, or two-spirit. Affirmation. So the idea here is it comes from this concept of affirmation therapy. Affirmation therapy, I think, is hogwash. It's witch doctor science. It's not sensible. Sensible. They're pushing this idea of you affirm to people. You want to call it a delusion, you want to call it whatever you want to call it. In the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual is what they go by. And you have to understand how this thing is put together. You got psychologists and psychiatrists get together at an annual meeting, and then they discuss, I don't know if it's annual, but it's like every once in a while they organize this meeting, and the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for psychologists and psychiatrists is agreed upon. It's agreed upon. They have a vote. They have a vote on new ailments that may be put in as what's going on, and then how to treat them. Now, for the longest time, gender dysphoria was considered a mental illness, and that's a thing. That's a thing. So affirmation therapy is this new special thing. Doctor Strange does affirmation when using magical spell too. Really? He affirms that the spell exists? Anyway, so affirmation is affirming to people their delusions and telling people, yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, this isn't like an anti-trans position, because I feel for people who are suffering from these things. Like there are people who genuinely are suffering from these things. I think there's a trend and there's people being pushed into it. And this is why we have a trend, a subsequent trend of people detransitioning, because it's kind of like they've been pushed into it and then they're actually escaping from it. But there's no such thing as trans. Well, I know there are people that, like, Blair White's a great example. She's a person who was, born as a dude and then decided as a grown ass adult to make decisions with her own life, presents as a woman, and isn't fooling anybody. But that's her own business, right? That's the way it is, and it's not my position to judge these individuals for what they do. And Blair White, great mind, speaks a lot of truth to power. I agree with a lot of the stuff that she puts out on her YouTube videos. If you don't know who Blair White is she considers herself a conservative in the United States. So conservative, transgendered YouTuber. Go check her out. And that's the thing, right? But doesn't go with this affirmation therapy thing. Anyway, affirmation therapy is this concept that goes against all other situations. Blair White isn't acting like a deranged lunatic, though. No, Blair White is not acting like a deranged lunatic. Very, very much just, living her life the way she wants to live her life. And like I said, I have no qualms with people that just want to live their life the way they want to live their life. And I hope they have that same respect for me. That's really where I come from. But affirmation therapy, I think, is destructive for people. I think it's destructive because people go through phases, and you don't affirm phases. And people have illnesses, right? So if somebody came to a doctor and they had anorexia or bulimia, and these are real things that affect people, and it's a form of dysmorphia where people actually believe that their body is fat. They think that they're fat in their head. They're fat, and they're disgusted by that, and they'll do anything to lose weight. Which is like with bulimia, it's making themselves throw up. It's with anorexia, it's just starving themselves, and it's very dangerous, and they can be extremely harmed by this. Now, would you give them affirmation therapy? Is that something you would affirm? Oh yeah, you're totally fat. Like person who's dying of starvation, physically, literally, actually. At some point, you got to tell the truth. And it's the whole concept of the Hippocratic Oath, the at first do no harm. And then on top of it, it turns out there's a hell of a lot of money to be made in this whole industry. And I wonder if that has anything to do with it. So this is just something to be cautious of and be alert to that's coming up in our young people's lives at the moment. And it's thank God for journalists like Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, for getting out there and actually putting this stuff out there and pulling this footage back and exposing these in my opinion, evil people for what they are. And again, I'm not saying that people that have a particular proclivity for what they want to do with their dingus are evil. What I'm saying, and some people will say that, and I'm not saying that. But if you try to teach people's kids that stuff, that's evil. That's straight up evil. And you don't have a right to do that, and you should be arrested for doing that. And that's my opinion on that. But yeah, we need to change that industry and get those people out of the industry. And it starts with us. It definitely does. It starts with us paying attention more and being a little bit more active in our kids' education and knowing what's going on at the places that we send them for 6 to 8 hours a day. That's something for sure that we're getting into. Now, we've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes now. We just hit that mark right now. Newbie 431 gifting 5 memberships to the community here. So 5 lucky people who just got new memberships to the channel. Now there's fun things you can do with that membership. One of those things for sure is the emojis. There's special emojis that only people who are members of the channel can use in the chat, and they're fun. We're adding more. I think I should get some more in there. And then there's also the role in the Discord. If you have your Discord, which is another social media platform, connected to your YouTube, it's a quick, easy step. Boop, 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 boop. You're in there. And that's the way that works. We got G Meister with another $5 super chat. So if I'm a 14-year-old boy, I can be turned into a girl. Then at 15, I can apply for MAID because I'm confused. WTF. Yes, absolutely. I want to get into this MAID thing. I'm going to say one more point here because I think people, I try to articulate my opinions the best that I can when I do these streams or I talk about these things in videos. When I was talking about MAID last time, I was talking about that video that was put out by Simmons, the clothing company. And at one point in the video, I said, this is disgusting. And what I was referring to in that video was not only the blue whale phenomenon when it comes to people that actually enjoy and get off on the fact that they lead people into offing themselves, but also I was referring to the fact of making the concept of adult, or what do they call them, mature minors, and trying to change the consent laws for medical services like MAID for children as low as 12 years old. That is ridiculous. That is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting to have children be able to do that. They're not in their right minds. I've been through adolescence. I know what it was like. And no, they're not in their right minds. And not only that, for sadness, the slippery slope of this MAID thing. Now, the thing is, what I wasn't saying was disgusting was the concept of somebody who is in tremendous amounts of pain. And the whole main purpose for this, right? The whole main purpose for MAID and why there was any public support for it was because if people are in extreme amounts of pain and they're terminal and they know they're going to be going, and it's going to progress and get much, much worse, for them to have an out in that scenario. Now, not everyone is going to agree with me on that, but I believe a lot of people agree that in that situation, that would be a scenario where society, or a lot of people in society, would see that as being just or okay. But the argument was there's going to be a slippery slope into not only introducing it to bigger audience of people, a bigger group of people, to include things like mental illness and to include things like mature minors, 12 years old, and then also babies up to a year old. Like, this isn't what we signed up for, but this is what we get. It's kind of like the abortion debate. What most people are arguing, I understand there's people who are pro-life and they're like, no, absolutely no, never under any circumstances, and that's opinion to hold, and I respect that opinion. You know, that's an opinion. But there's also the opinion of people who say, no, there are certain circumstances where it should be allowed, and that's another opinion. But where it went was up until the moment of birth, and nobody agrees with that. And anyone who does is just sick in the head. G Meister with the $2 super chat, hit the damn thumbs up. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, everybody. Appreciate that. But I think this is where the and politicians love it because they polarize it. They polarize it like this. So the person who's pro-life is someone who's saying, no, it's never, ever, never. But a lot of people, even on the pro-life side, would say if it only happened rarely and only under certain circumstances, that would be a concession if all the other stuff went away in the immediate, right? Now, that might not be everyone's opinion, but this is the reality of the situation. And then from the other side, it's like, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. It's a lack of understanding of the other person's where the other person's coming from, and I think it's important to have an understanding of where the other side comes from, and to understand when the other side is like, holy cow, you're out to lunch. You're out to lunch. Can I help you understand where I'm coming from? And I think MAID is one of those things, right? Where there are people say that, no, absolutely not. And then there are people who say, yes, only in these particular circumstances. But now we're actually at a point where our healthcare system is so buggered up that they're actually considering it for people, pushing people into it. And that's I'm going to be getting into this real soon. I have a lot of coverage that I want to put towards this. But this is where that slippery slope ultimately goes. And this is where that's disgusting, because people are thinking about, oh, well, we could save a buck if we just offed people. And we can't have that. We already went off the cliff. And I want to get into it, but we're going too long with this. We're already at 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 22 seconds right now. That's how long the stream's been going. So, yep, it sure is eugenics. That's where we're getting. That's where it's going, and I'll be covering that this week because I did a bunch of research on it. I was gonna bring it up tonight, but I'm gonna have to turn that into a video for this week. Anyway, I don't want to keep going too much longer. I want to thank you guys all for coming out. All the super chats, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. You know that all that stuff goes towards making the channel better, and of course some wobbly pops after in the Discord. Join me there. Link is in the description down below. But appreciate all of you guys coming in, adding to the conversation, making this a much better channel than if it was just me. You guys make the channel, and that's really where we are. So I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a great weekend, and everybody keep on trucking.